Topping our news this morning, Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the House is moving forward, looking into the possibility of impeaching President Trump.
That's after a whistleblower alleged the president tried to force a foreign leader to aid his re-election. NBC's Tracy Potts brings our coverage together this morning from Capitol Hill.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made it official. Lawmakers are opening an impeachment inquiry against President Trump.
The president must be held accountable. No one is above the law.
Pelosi, who's been reluctant, moved forward at the urging of more than 180 Democrats.
I think it's ridiculous. It's a witch hunt. I'm leading in the polls. They have no idea how they stop me. The only way they can try is through impeachment.
What turned the tide? A phone call with the president of Ukraine. A whistleblower claims President Trump threatened to cancel aid unless the country investigated Joe Biden and his son's connection to a Ukrainian company. Under pressure, President Trump has agreed to release the transcript of that call.
I feel like when you see this transcript, the president is going to be vindicated. It's going to be proven he's done nothing wrong.
Impeachment isn't a crime, it's a charge, and we're not even there yet. This inquiry allows lawmakers to officially gather evidence and interview witnesses to build a case.
We're going to get this. We're going to have the opportunity to hear from the whistleblower. We're going to make sure that whistleblower is protected.
There are clear battle lines. Democrats who insist the president's done something wrong.
We must not wait. Now is the time to act.
And Republicans who argue this is about Democrats' loss in the last election.
They should have given it up then, but they can't let it go.
The White House says they'll turn over the whistleblower's complaint when the director of national intelligence testifies tomorrow. And new this morning, the president of Ukraine says he was not pressured by President Trump. We'll see that transcript later today, and the two of them are set to meet at the United Nations this afternoon. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
Speaker Pelosi's announcement marks the beginning of a long process.
Yeah, so if you're wondering what exactly would it take for Congress to move forward with impeaching the president, KGW's Dan Haggerty tells us in this edition of Connect the Dots.
Impeachment is laid out in Article 2 of the Constitution. Specifically, it says the President of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of high crimes and misdemeanors. With a majority vote, the House, currently held by Democrats, will initiate those hearings, and they would oversee the investigation into any alleged crimes. But it is the Republican-held Senate that would conduct the actual trial of the president and get to make the final decision on guilt. They would need a 2/3 majority vote to find the president guilty. And if it went this far, they could remove him from office and bar him from holding office in the future. Only two presidents, Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton, ever faced impeachment, and neither of them were forced to leave office.
Of course, we're going to cover this impeachment inquiry as it develops. In fact, Christine Pitawanich will join us in studio next half hour to break down how our local elected officials are reacting to the announcement.
New this morning, Kevin Burns, the CEO of e-cigarette maker Juul, is stepping down. The company also announced this morning it will pull all advertising in the U.S. This comes amid intensifying scrutiny of the brand's marketing practices. Some critics say they target teens. Oregon health officials say there are now 5 confirmed cases of respiratory illness in the state linked to vaping. Now, we haven't gotten any more specifics from the Oregon Health Authority, so we don't know if these are previous or current cases, but at least one person in Oregon has died from a lung illness linked with vaping. 8 others have died across the country. Multnomah County is issuing a new health advisory on vaping. County commissioners are looking at banning the sale now of all flavored tobacco products. County Chair Deborah Kafoury said, quote, "We need to stop teen vaping. We cannot afford to wait as the number of new nicotine addicts continues to grow."
Well, Major League Soccer has changed a policy that really upset some Portland Timbers fans recently. The league is lifting its ban on fans displaying the anti-Nazi symbol known as the Iron Front.
Yeah, Tim Gordon is out there at Providence Park for us this morning because the Timbers play there tonight. And Tim, we're assuming this means that those Iron Front flags and those Iron Front banners will be back in full force tonight.
Yeah, Drew, the Timbers play New England here tonight, 7:30 match. And yeah, I think we can expect that we're going to see the Iron Front flying high again here at Providence. So here's the symbol, the Iron Front. We'll show it to you. It's with the 3 arrows pointed downward. It's been a part of the Timbers Army section here at Providence for quite some time now. It's also a symbol adopted by the group Antifa, displayed during sometimes violent protests. And it's what's created so much controversy this season. The Iron Front symbol was first used in the 1930s by an anti-Nazi paramilitary group. Supporters say now the symbol represents opposition to fascism and persecution, a human rights issue. But the league claimed it was a political symbol and banned it from stadiums earlier this year as part of the league's code of conduct for fans. Now, after a lot of upset fans spoke out, the league has changed course after discussions with club supporter groups. It's lifted the ban for the remainder of the season and the playoffs. Then the league's going to hold more sessions to work out a policy going forward after that. So you can't call this a permanent lift of this ban, but at least for now, the Iron Curtain is back, guys.
But this is a big deal. Again, some of those fans, they were real heartfelt, but the league said, we're banning you from the matches over this.
Yeah, right. Some fans were banned for 3 games for continuing to wear the Iron Curtain despite the ban. They should be back, obviously, to display them again tonight. And, you know, some of the players even spoke out about this as well, supporting the Iron Curtain as a statement for fans to be able to make. And remember back this. I'm sorry?
Go ahead, Tim.
I was going to say, you know, this ban went into effect. When it first went into effect, the whole Timbers Army was silent for 33 minutes of that first match after this ban went into effect earlier this season. That 33 minutes is symbolic of 1933 when the Nazis disbanded an Antifa Iron Front. That's where this all started back in the 30s. Guys, back to you.
All right, big controversy over that Iron Front. Thank you so much, Tim.
Now to more national headlines in your morning rush. A federal court is hearing a case today to decide whether 8 years' worth of President Trump's tax returns can be released. New York's district attorney is asking a judge to turn them over as part of a probe into alleged hush money payments the president made to women who claim to have had affairs with him. Attorneys for the president have sued to block the release of those tax returns. Tropical Storm Karen brought mudslides and power outages to the U.S. Virgin Islands yesterday. That storm, with sustained winds of 45 miles an hour, also dropped heavy rain on Puerto Rico. Now, earlier in the morning, an earthquake shook Puerto Rico, but did little damage. 301 graduates joined the New York City Fire Department yesterday. 21 of those lost a father on 9/11 and in the cleanup work after the attack. The applause for those graduates whose fathers died saving lives went on for 30 seconds. It is the largest group of legacies to graduate. So amazing to see that.
That was a great story. We had that last hour as well, and it's incredible now that much time has passed where the sons of those fathers are now firefighters themselves.
Yeah, no kidding.